What? Oh, I went way back. Look, I've been with them for a long time, Lord. I've been with them for a long time, so you're gonna have to give me the right words. You're gonna have to give me the right words. Oh Lord, my Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth, oh God, I bless you. I thank you, oh God. I honor you, I exalt you high above every situation and every circumstance. Your name is worthy of all the glory, honor, and the praise. You are high and lifted up. You are the most high God, all knowing, all seeing, and everywhere. You're a God all by yourself. You're a God even when we feel like you are far away, oh God. When we can't feel your presence, you don't stop being God. Lord, I thank you for being with me even right now. I thank you for decreasing me and increasing in me. I thank you for having your way in this place, oh God. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that comes against me in judgment you shall condemn. Season my words with grace. Do not allow me to be led by my emotions, oh God. Allow me to speak what you would have me to speak on each subject that you have me to speak about. Work it out for my good and for your glory and the good of the people that hear. Prepare our hearts, minds, and spirits for the mighty move that you make even now, oh God. In your holy and righteous name I do pray. It is so. Welcome, 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 you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Sylvie 414, and I is Sylvie, your rough edged lady, just coming to bring you some of that 414. You know, that one in the middle for some balance, because you're going to see things this way, and they're going to see things that way. But if we come together and have us a little conversation, we might be able to get to some understanding where the balance is. Nobody wants to live in the land of totally. Look here, you guys. I hope y'all done had a. I'm talking about my night. We talking ecclesi. What the world? I'm gonna need to be able to plug my massager up sometime. But chairs are not really made for you to have good posture. So I be trying to work on my posture. Cause I be looking at myself when I be sitting and I be like this. I was really like this the other day. So I'm trying to work on the posture. I've been trying to work on my posture for years. But when you've had poor posture all these years, you know things and stuff. So I hope y'all have had a great day today. I hope y'all have a wonderful start to the week. I hope y'all had an amazing weekend. All right? Is the tyrants in this place? That ain't even what my title was going to be called. My title was going to be called Unsafe Temples. Pastor, Pastor Keion, Pastor Walker, and Bishop Henderson, come on down to the table. Let's sit and talk a spell. Before we get into some things and some stuff though, let's talk about this balance that I was talking about. So I have been involved. I had to show some maturity. I came up here and I spoke before about. Looks like I may not be able to see the chat, y'all. I don't know what's going on with this phone and why it has not come on as of yet. This is my old phone. You know, it be doing things and stuff. But it normally be on by now. I'm not really even understanding why it hasn't picked up a charge. You know, an iPhone ain't coming on until it's charged enough. You ain't no. That's what I like about an Android. When you put that Android on the charger, you can turn it on. When you put that iPhone on the charger, it has a mind of its own. It is not coming on until you turn it on. I mean, excuse me, until it powers up enough. You guys, y'all see my hat in my little thumbnail picture. I'm still working on. I ain't gonna say I'm still working on thumbnail. I need to be better about researching how my thumbnail should fit when I come live. Whether it's gonna be pictures, I have to work on that stuff. Boo done talked to me about making myself more relevant by way of making sure that y'all know why y'all come into my page. I can tell you like in an Africa way, going the Africa way. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys like, share, and subscribe. I do apologize. I cannot interact with the chat because I don't have my other device. It's doing things and stuff. Um, but I can describe to you. I can tell you all the things that in my heart I know that God has sent me forth But to break it down and not go all around the mulberry bush with it, I'm still working on that. I know God has told me political, ecclesiastical, and societal oppression. I know I am here to speak to women about modesty. And someone asked me the other day, I was a little boobalicious, I was cleavaged. All things in moderation. The Bible says that. I don't walk around every day of my life, and if y'all could see, I got on some. I was going to a Dukes and Boots party, and the Dukes and Boots party got canceled. So I remember watching a TikTok, and that girl was in a whole evening gown. She was like, "If you don't got nowhere to go, just dress up and get pretty for you." So I'm like, I ain't going out and get my stuff. So I couldn't get dressed. That's why I wanted to wear my hat. But I got it in the thumbnail, but I couldn't put it on because I can't put it on top of my mic. And when I put my mic back there, like, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me. But I came and I told y'all there was once before when I was on a post, I had made a comment. I don't be knowing when I choose violence. I don't be knowing when I choose violence. If I comment, if I am in sync with something that a post is saying, and I've been in that experience or a similar experience, I may comment on it. I'm not saying all the things. I would never come up here and tell anybody all the things that I've done in my life are great. But the same way that God told me to speak to women and let us know that we should come out of those emotions some, and we should learn how to be more modest and not just dress, because that is another thing that I said to them. If you define modesty in the Old Testament, it is speaking about your character, your humility, and everything like that. Now, if you are worried about your character, it is going to, I promise you, your character is going to determine how you dress as well. It is going to determine how you dress as well. I have never really been a naked dresser, but I have always been one. I might have my legs out. I might have my cleavage out. I don't do it as much, but I may still do it. And I said the whole time I was on that live the other day, I didn't even really want to wear that shirt. I challenge myself sometimes. So I can't live my life for people. I have to live my life for me and the Most High God. Because what I do might seem a little more serious to y'all sometimes than it seems to God. That's why I tell people to check up on that thing with God. But anywho, I was on this post. It was a post on Corey Holcomb's video. That post went back and forth for 3 months because I allowed it to go back and forth for 3 months. There were some men up there who did not have balanced emotions. Emotions are not a woman's thing. Emotions are a human thing. And there can be men that are overly emotional. And when I said, because I'm about to tell you about a second post that I had to bring myself off of because they were so overly emotional. And the post I was called, let me tell you something. Trigger warning. They called me everything yesterday and the day before and the day before. They called me a bad mother. They called me a hood rat. They called me a 304. They called me horrible. They called me cum buckets and scum buckets and trash. They called me all of that. They went to my Facebook and said your profile picture is ugly. All of that. If that wasn't a bunch of emotionalness, I don't know what is. Because I'm going backwards to go forward. Just so you'll know how emotional they were, how they acted off of their emotions because they were triggered by my comment and they allowed their buttons to be pushed. God told me my buttons belong to me. So if I allow my buttons to be pushed, I will never let you put your buttons on me. Now, to the post. This post said, and I don't remember the post verbatim, but it was basically talking about a married couple who had a child. I don't know how long the child was here. I don't know the ins and outs. All that I know is the post said that the mother talked the husband's mother talked him into needing a DNA test. Precursor. There's nothing wrong with a DNA test. What is wrong, in my opinion, is that a man would need someone to talk him into it. If you know that there was another man involved and you want a DNA test, you should get it. Some men would probably call that man a simp because he didn't want to get a DNA test. But if you have doubt, from the beginning, you should get that test. Okay? Now let me bring myself into it. Because I didn't go into detail on mine. All I said was, yes, I placed a threat on my ex-husband as well. I didn't follow, I placed a threat on my ex-husband as well. I didn't treat him unfairly, though. And now his daughters are getting, his daughters are having their relationship with him, and he's working on their relationship with them. And I became every horn in the book because they assumed, first and foremost, they assumed that it was a new story. Welcome, you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. I would love it if you'd like, share, and subscribe. I can't see what those comments are, but I thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to get it together and be able to be on a camera so that I can have a working device so that I can see what my chat is speaking to me. My story is over 20 years old. Never once in that post did I say I was right. Never once in that post did I say that I never let the man see it. I said they are having their relationship. And when I found out that I chose violence, because I just woke up the next morning and it was a slew of comments. At one point, because Facebook kept stopping me from commenting. They kept telling me I can't comment because it looked like it was spam. There were close to 500 comments on my comment alone, not the post. I think my comment did half of what the post did. I think the post had like over 1,000 likes. I don't remember how many shares. But my comment was heavy on that post. So me just learning technology and still learning technology is sitting there like, oh, did the creator of the content do this because they didn't want us to communicate on the post anymore? But they were still letting the post was still letting the people come comment on my post. Every time I tried to go respond, I was having a good old time. I was having a good old time because the people that came in with respect, I had a conversation, and which led to other people that's nosy like me, going through reading the whole thread and then having a better understanding. It was some people that just read the post and questioned why I did what I did, and once I explained, they had a better understanding. Not saying that they still agreed with me. They had a better understanding. They didn't come in there talking to me like they knew me. Talking to me like what they ate made me shit. I said that a lot in my Jay-Z voice on that post. It's a good thing. What y'all eat don't make me shit. I even said it's a good thing a person with lesser confidence did not come in there because they would have crushed them. I think that is the epitome of why content creators will have their comments shut off and things like that. Because people are harsh. People are harsh. And I said it in that post. I said, although I didn't know I chose violence on this comment, as much as I come onto public social media and say, this is public social media, what you post, anybody has the right to speak on, and they did. And they had the right to call me out of my name if they chose to. In my opinion, it made you just as ignorant as you felt like I was, if not more. Because just like I said, that was 20 years ago for me. I have matured. My daughters came into the post. My baby girl, the one I thought was going to choose violence with me, she didn't. But the other one chose violence. The oldest one, the one that didn't choose violence, was who my comment was about. She was the child in question. My ex-husband knew for 9 years. For 40 weeks, that's how long you be pregnant, and 9 years. And then 9 years after that, you allowed somebody to come into your ear and say, "Oh, I think you should have a DNA test." I ain't mad you want a DNA test, bro. You had 9 years to get it. I ain't never say don't get no DNA test. So when you allow your emotions, because that was his emotions that allowed her to talk in his ear. So when you allow your emotions to be triggered, other people have emotions that can be triggered. And I was in my 20s. And that's what I did. I don't regret anything in my life. Why? Because although those people thought that they could speak about my character, there are people that know me. Even my daughter, me and my daughters, especially Mini Me 3000, the one that didn't shoot, the one that the post was about. We have our issues. That's why I call the girl Mini Me 3000. We go through a thing from time to time. She is her mama's baby. But I've always said she's not gonna be like fuck with her mama and vice versa. It's not going down. Period. One thing for sure and two things for certain. So nobody on that post made me feel bad. And then somebody went on and commented on somebody's comment that was defending me, like all these men and women in here that are coming for her, and you gonna defend her? I just went on that post because I guess she would look, and God I had to just let it go. God is teaching me sometimes you gotta let it go. Because the woman never came back and responded to it. I guess she was just like, I said what I said. I did what I did. But I said, because all through the last 3 days, I have been referring to them as the emotional angries and the emotional dusty angries. So I went on to say, so you imagine that some emotional dusty angry women is going to change the fact that there were people in here. See, that was the masses that had a problem with me, and I don't do what the masses do. I probably would have been on the post the same way she was, trying to figure out where the one in the middle was. Because anything way over there, because that's what I started yelling to, oh, y'all sound like far-right Kevin Samuels and far-right Corey Holcomers. And somebody came up there and was like, Kevin Samuels was a great man. He was. You never go back and check, because y'all read over things. They kept skipping over things in the post and just grabbing onto what they wanted to grab onto. As you did in that Kevin Samuels post. I never said Kevin Samuels wasn't a great man. I said y'all are some far right. Y'all hear about the far right? Y'all don't like to talk about the far left. But we is always talking about the far right. We is always talking about the far right Republicans. Because somebody even came in there and said, you must be a liberal. And somebody that had a problem with me then directed their issue to this person. Like, somebody always got to come in here talking political and all this stuff like that. I said, well, actually, sir, I voted for Donald Trump in 2020. I don't regret anything that I do in my life, because you have to live and learn and grow. And somebody came on the post and was like, yeah, we all got our something. But he said we all got our something. He said, I wonder what's going on my phone. He said he knew that the man was emotional in there. Oh, yo, I think this charger stopped working. Hold up, I got a charger. Hold up. Hold up, y'all, please. I got another charger. I couldn't see them. I couldn't see that chat if I want to. I ain't got my eyes on. I don't got my eyes on. But trust and believe, y'all. My ex-husband and myself, we don't have a bad relationship right now after all of that. When my daughters went on that post, my oldest daughter said, because she chose violence, She saw them coming for her mama, and she chose violence. And they said that I had brainwashed them. Some people just think for themselves, and some people think on a spectrum, like she. That's really not thinking at all. Critically thinking is going to allow you to weigh, we're going to talk about it, to weigh out before you speak. Weigh out the options of what you're going to say before you speak, not just speaking from your emotions like I did 20 years ago. That's why I won't let anybody on that post, because all y'all were doing was speaking out y'all emotions. Y'all were angry. It's an emotion. It's an emotion. Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe it's charging now. I don't know. But yes, that's what happened, and I took myself off of the post. My daughter said to them, "I'm telling y'all the facts. Y'all are speculating toward a stranger, things y'all have no clue about. I'm telling y'all the facts as come from my mother and my father. Why? Because when they took my story to him, he says, yeah, that's the story. Why? Because my ex-husband know I ain't no liar. And we all know I ain't perfect. I ain't never told my story to my children as if I was perfect. Never. Once. Period. But what I'm not going to do is let an overly emotional man who thinks that he's right just because he's a man discount me. Ever. Period. Now, with that being said, let's talk about Pastor Sonya Walker. I don't know her. We're going to speak about Pastor Sonya Walker as a teachable moment. Pastor Sonya Walker, you may know the name of the other young lady, Tarika James or Eternity Phillips. This young lady unalived herself. I don't think she unalived herself on Facebook, but you can Google her. She's got videos on Facebook and on YouTube. I have not gone through to watch her videos, but I'm just going to tell you a little bit of what Tarika says her story is. Now, Tarika's not here anymore, so you can't really, unless some things come out of the woodworks, you know, who knows how this is going to play out. Tarika said, and her name was, she went by Eternity. She was LGBTQ, and she used pronouns of they, them. She says that Pastor Sonya Walker, was her mentor from a child. Her mother gave her. I don't even like that word. They say it in the music industry. Their parents be giving them. Y'all will send somebody somewhere to live with a folk so that y'all can get to the underlying issue of the money or whatever it is. The story says she gave her to Pastor Walker because Tarika had a lesbian spirit. And so her mother felt like she was safe in the First Lady's hands. Excuse me, she wasn't the pastor at that time. She was the First Lady when she was mentoring, when it was said. And this is all alleged because, like I said, we only have the story of Tarika. So she was the First Lady, and she began to mentor her. And when Tarika turned 18, it said that they began a relationship. So the person that was sent there to mentor her and I guess get the gay off of her put more gay on her. I don't know, like how you end up in a relationship with her. If you ended up in a relationship with her and you were just supposed to be mentoring her because you know you're the pastor, the one up here in the higher standard, and she is but a child, because you were mentoring her. And I don't have how many years she was mentoring her before she was 18, but y'all know how I feel about 18, so you know how I feel about everything prior to 18. Because if you were mentoring her to get the gay spirit off of her, and then you wound up in a relationship with her, an sexual relationship with her, that comes off a little bit as grooming. And we talk about that over here because God, that's another charge. The babies. I have come on and I have done the definition of arsenokoitai, which is speaking about homosexuality, or you go and you do the arsenokoitai, and somebody posted it. I watched a video where they were speaking about gay men, and they used arsenokoitai, man with male. They said male with male. That's probably another old version, but if you go into the King James Version, it's going to say man. That means an adult. All the time. There is not one man that is younger than 18. At that point, he's a boy. You might call him a young man, but he ain't no man because he's not an adult. But you know what he is? A male. Man lying with male brings children into it. I don't care how y'all want to look at it. Why? Because the other one do too. The one that we always use and try to put the gay down. That's the one that says that the homosexuals will not inherit the kingdom of God, you know, in them other testaments. But over here in the old KJV, that word is not homosexual. It is effeminate. And when you define effeminate, it begins to talk about man. It don't even say male over there. First word is catamite. That's somebody that like to mess with boys. Works for boys and girls. But yeah, it's letting you know that the mans, the adults, they like the boys. But all the way down the line, they have just been saying to us that the LGBTs don't get in, the gays don't get in. You know? So I could say, if there is any truth to this story on Pastor Sonya Walker's side, she's going to fit effeminate. I know she's a woman. But if you go in and you look at the definition, knowing that in this day and time, it's not just talking about that's a boy or a girl. Ain't nobody got no business messing with the children. And we want to make it okay, because the first thing that everybody said on that post, when I was watching O'Shea, she was an adult. I don't care what y'all say, y'all 18-year-olds, yes, they can. Can they even go in the military anymore? Because they can't buy alcohol no more because it's going back to 21. I want to say cigarettes are 21. But even if it is, because they can go in the military, the psyche is a real thing. And somebody that with the word teen still in their definition, they ain't ready, because somebody with the word one behind their two still ain't ready, in my opinion. But they are really an adult. So, if Pastor Sonya Walker was mentoring a child prior to 18, and then at 18 came into an asexual relationship with this child, she should be investigated. Because that child, she ain't, She ain't gonna wait on day 18 and fall for that girl. No. Now, let's come to eternity. Let's come to eternity, because eternity is no longer here. And that story blows his mind. Because eternity was 40 when she unalived herself. Now let me jump forward to something Larry Reed, because I'm going to come, when we talk about the Hilliards, it's because I caught a Larry Reed. I don't even really watch Larry Reed, but God did not tell me to unsubscribe, because every now and then he brings something that I need. He spoke about, let me see exactly what he said, because I want to call it what he calls us. Wait on that. Where my stuff, y'all? I thought I was on the right. Okay. Okay. Right here somewhere. I just gotta. Oh no, it's up here. Okay. So he spoke of the estranged child concept. The estranged child concept. And I would fit that. He would fit that as well. That's why he spoke on it. He used to be estranged from his parents. I ain't never known my daddy. I was estranged from my mother for a lot of years. There you go. I'm gonna try to see if I'm gonna have some problems, because I will have some problems finding myself live from time to time. So from time to time I do. There you go. There you go, gal. She did it that time. Estranged child concept. Whenever we go through, she's not an estranged, she wasn't an estranged child, but he was speaking about childhood trauma and childhood hurt. Because the story that I'm going to speak about, she was disowned by her parents. And you bring that into adulthood sometimes. That's what childhood trauma, 9 times out of 10, if it's childhood trauma, it's because you're an adult now and it's traumatizing you. And sometimes, some people, and that is men and women, they will take that stuff to the grave. They will go out there and gain financial success and everything that looks right out here and be fucked up on the inside. All the pieces. If you don't try to work on that with which affected you, you may end up like eternity. Because eternity tried to reach out to that pastor after the relationship was over. And the woman wanted nothing to do with her. And went on to preach a sermon about I think it was when you can't get what you want from God immediately, when you can't get the answer you want from God immediately. But the sermon that she preached, I was watching O'Shea Duke Jackson, was the first place that I watched her. And he spoke on that. He was like, it sounds like that sermon was speaking to the young lady eternity indirectly. You know, sometimes pastors will get up in the pulpit and speak something that they don't have an experience about. No. So when he said it, I was like, yeah, it kind of do sound like it could be. We eternity. I never want to just talk about someone who unalived themselves. But if we don't work on the inside, if we don't work on the inside, when we go to depressive places, when we go to those places, it is because there are things on the inside that are broke that need to be dealt with. If you can't, and I say that on this platform all the time, if you can't handle it yourself, you should really think about going to get help. I mean, eternity, we can't bring eternity back at this point, but you should really. You said please sing songs? I just sung two before I came live. I'm gonna post them. Lady at the casino. That's what I just sung. Lost all her money. She said, don't feel sorry for me, no, no. Don't feel sorry, honey. But if you want to do a lady a favor, here's what I need you to do. Loan me $2 until the next time I see you. With these last $2, I ain't gonna lose. With these last $2, I ain't gonna lose. One's going for my bus fare, the other's for the jukebox to hear me some blues. Okay, now, back to eternity. And he might not even be in the chat no more. He was the first person that came in the chat. But yes, back to eternity. We can't blame Sonya that eternity is not here anymore. Sonya didn't do that. Sonya did not do that. If there is something for Sonya to be investigated about as far as grooming or anything like that, but the choice that eternity made in the end, that was eternity's choice. Why? Because there are people that get groomed, there are people that get assaulted sexually, there are people that get pedoed on, and they fight through, and they make it. Some of them don't make it so well. Some of them don't make it so well, but you still have to give somebody courage for the fight. Some of them might be strung out on all types of anything because they can't get their mind right, but they still here. Or they stayed here and they stuck it out. We can't blame Sonya, Pastor Sonya, for eternity choosing to take her life. And now, all right. So now I'm about to read the word. Oh no, let's talk about Mr. Pastor Keion Henderson, and then I'm going to read the word. So, Pastor Henderson's name just be all he be on it. He be on it. He be telling folks to hush. He be telling people to raise their hands or get out. He be telling people, woman in the scarf, come on down. You, lady in the scarf. I bet this ain't gonna go viral, he said. This is a reality show at this point. Yeah, that's what. Shout out to Professor Blackmore. Is that her name? Shout out to Professor. Let me look up here and see if that her name is. Professor Blackmore. I am. Oh. Why it won't? Oh, I forgot. This phone funky, y'all. This phone is funky. I'm gonna have to go here to see if I could. I think her name Professor Blackmore. I'm not getting ready to tussle with that phone. Um, it's my baby, but it be doing things and stuff. But Professor Blackmore calls Pastor Keion and Shawnee's Church a reality TV show, and the way that it stays in the on the internet, always going viral for nonsense like that. That's nonsense. She's not the only one speaking about Pastor Keion. She is not the only one. I know about 3 different people that are speaking about Pastor Keion. I ask God to help me choose my words carefully, because I would never want to call someone not a man of God. But these people, look, the people, the people that's talking about him, they are, they calling him not a man of God. They saying he don't know the Bible. All I know is every time I hear his name, it's attached to nonsense. I know he got a nice voice. He done been divorced for irreconcilable differences a lot of times. But I also know that he got childhood trauma too, that I believe he is still very much angry about. Very much angry about. And I believe a part of that is that issue that he has. I believe he has an issue with his mother. In my mind, his mama is why he couldn't be raised with his daddy. And that, in my look, this is my opinion. Because I said it on Professor Blackmore's page, it seemed like he still do have anger towards the fact that he couldn't just be with his dad. His dad was the pastor of a church and a married man, and his mama was the side chick. And just like the side chick always gonna get it. But that man was the pastor of the church. When does a pastor have to take responsibility? When does a pastor have to take responsibility? When does a pastor, and I am the one to offer the most grace, why can we serve a gracious God? But pastors can't be walking around preying on children, because his mother, at that point, I think she was a teenager. And all y'all just want to act like, yeah, we just want them young. We want them young. You don't want to give anybody a chance to get their mind right. Y'all just want what y'all want, how y'all want it. And then you be the Hilliards. But with them, they not even, I don't hear anything. I haven't heard anything as of yet about any infidelity. It's just unkind. Do you know that people can be mean to the point where you don't want to be around them, even if they're your husband or your wife? Back to Pastor Keion. Pastor Keion's brother attempted to build a relationship with him. And his father would relate to him in slick, behind closed doors type of ways. So can you imagine how it feels to know that someone is your father and to see them raising their other children in your face? I know that situation with women. I couldn't begin to imagine, because I know that situation with women, and some of how it's affected them. Y'all are so much harder than us. Y'all are so much harder than us. And I know that situation personally, because I was the softest one on my mother. Her sons, one of her sons cried probably one tear when my mama passed away. The other one finally did. When her oldest son forgave her, that baby, one tear. But when the oldest boy forgave her, the oldest son forgave her, I was ecstatic. I was ecstatic about that, because my brother was not feeling my mother for 20 years. 20 is the magic number. Oh. But so yeah, um, Keion Keion tells the woman to come on down, the woman in the scarf, and tells the woman, I want to apologize to you. I didn't know what was going on. I want to apologize to you. What in the world he done is all I thought about. What in the world he done now? The woman in the scarf was tell her to hush, lady. Now you want to apologize to tell her to hush. You gotta hush. After you let her scream in emotion, because you said that you didn't believe it was the spirit. You believed that she was in her emotions. And I have talked to somebody and said I believe that can be the case sometimes. I believe that people do start shouting and screaming and stuff like that in church for attention sometimes. I don't believe all the time, but sometimes, yeah. In my opinion, yeah. Yeah. But even so, you let her do it for, I think he said 3 years. It had been going on for 3 years. If I'm wrong about that, please forgive me. You let her do it for 3 years. Then you get into a big service and you decide you're going to hush her. Now, this is what I'm saying about that. Nope, I can't even say it about this case because you can't tell me you don't know you being recorded, sir. I think y'all turn on the videos and look, my church I was at, we recorded, so scratch that. We're going to talk about not knowing that you recorded tomorrow when we talk about, oh man, I don't have no pen in here. The people should have pens. When we talk about Krishan, we're going to talk about Krishan tomorrow, and I was saying that, sometimes we be wanting attention. As soon as I said that, something said, She could have been at her. And it was Krishan. They knew her. They was going to record her. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. They put my glasses. I'm trying to notate that so that I can remember to talk about it tomorrow when I come live. And tomorrow I'll be live much earlier. Tomorrow I promise one thing for sure and two things for certain. I'll be live by 6 o'clock. Preferably by 5. Okay. So after you have allowed it for 3 years, after you tell the woman to hush publicly, after you go back and forth like she was the wrong one because she had been doing it for so long and you were rationalizing your decision, after you go on Tamron Hall, continuing to rationalize your decision, then you call her down to the altar. I don't know if he talked about it with her and said, hey, you coming to church on Sunday, we're going to call you down to the altar so I can apologize. See, I don't know if any of that went down, but he called her down to the altar and decided he was going to apologize to her and then said, I bet that won't go viral. Shawnee, get your husband. Get your husband and y'all fall to your knees and get in God's face. Because I'm not saying that your husband is not a man of God, but the people around me are saying that your husband is not a man of God. So if y'all are men and women of God, y'all might want to get in God's face. Humble yourself. That's what I would say. Humble yourself. You do not want to be, it's too big, it's too wide, it's too strong, it won't fit, it's too much, it's too tough, talk like this, but he can back it up. He got a big ego. You can't back it up where the God is concerned. God don't like big egos. God don't like it. Now, so Pastor Keion, please go get in God's face. That's all I got to say. You apologize to the woman. I guess everything all good between you and the woman. But my thing is go getting God's faces off. Let's get to the word. Proverbs 25 and 28. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil. That means when you study to answer, you're going to deliberate. What I say earlier, you're going to consider before speaking. You're not just going to speak what comes to your mind first. And see, this is what I can say about me on that post. I knew what I was posting. I knew that I was posting this to say, I'm not saying it's right, but I understand where you came from. Come to find out, the post wasn't even a real one, they said. It wasn't a true story. But I still said that things can be teachable moments, even if they're not true. And people came on and was like, it doesn't matter how, they were saying that on to me. It doesn't matter how long he went. That's true too. I keep trying to tell people I wasn't upset that he wanted the DNA test. And I never said I wasn't in my emotions. That was an emotional statement to say, you're not going to say you're bad. If you let this woman choose to think for you. Yeah, but I never told him not to get a test. That's all. That's all. He told me I was combative. I was like, I'm combative? Everybody's attacking me on this post, and I'm combative? Why? Because I won't say, what else do you want me to say besides I knew I was wrong? Y'all wanted me to agree that I was a calm bucket and all that. I'm never, ever. Y'all done lost y'all. Consider before speaking. Why? So you make sure you ain't lying. Why? So you make sure that you're not saying something that's not suitable. So you make sure that you're not saying something that's going to injure someone with your words, because words injure. Words injure. You want to weigh your words carefully so that you're not being hasty. I used to be hasty all the time. That's probably where that comment came from 20 years ago. Because once God told me I was hasty, that was probably about 4 or 5 years after that situation happened. After I threatened my ex-husband. 4 or 5 years after that, that's when God said, slow down. Slow down. And it took years. It takes years. Once you heed God's word. You're not going to heed it. God does have its way. One thing for sure, two things for certain. We could do this the easy way, or we could do this the hard way. Period. And you want to be careful with that your words are not hasty, so that you're not dishonoring God. So that where you're supposed to be helping, you're not hindering. Been there, done that when the words were hasty. Yeah. I was speaking truth as I knew it was true. It's gonna say in here, everything that's true don't gotta be said all the time. You just believe. You're so hardy. That's a hardy attitude. It's gonna tell you. It's a hardy attitude to believe that just because something's true, you feel like you got the right and gonna say it all the time. Yeah. You want to meditate on what to say in every aspect of life, in all matters of life. You want to think about it before you speak. Because if we're not thinking before we speak, then we're going to be just word vomiting. Mean girls. Now, as far as considering, the heart of the righteous and the Lord, you're going to consider what to return to God when you're reproved. and what to say in prayer when you're thankful for God's mercy. Because sometimes we don't like to be reproved. We're going to get an attitude about it. You ain't like to get in trouble with your mama and your daddy, so you take God the same way. Nobody likes to get in trouble, but you have to take responsibility for your actions. If you did something, you may get in trouble. But if God is merciful, you definitely want to express that. If you know that you should have been in trouble and God showed mercy, and you sit around here acting like you don't owe God no things. Nada, nada, nada. Oh yes, they told me I was speaking jive. They told me I was speaking jive on this post. They said, what English you speaking? Can you say that again in English? I said, if you didn't understand it, you don't belong. Because I said, do you see how many people are in here attempting, thinking that they eating me up? Because they went and read that post. They understood it. So why you don't understand it? They're what people, look, there's a time and a place. I don't have to go on a Facebook post and use proper grammar. I do not have to do that. I can make a comment on a Facebook post howsoever I choose. I say my professional grammar for when it's needed. Period. I had a girlfriend say years ago, why are you speaking in Ebonics? Because I'm not on a job interview. We out to eat. Why not? I mean, like, why are you asking me why I'm speaking in Ebonics? I don't understand. Sheesh already. Let's see. Now the mouth of the wicked, on the other hand, the mouth of the wicked ain't gonna ever consider what they say. They just gonna. Now remember what I said about the wicked. Don't take yourself out of it, because if you ain't considering what you say, if you think that you can tell the truth to anybody, anyway, any time, cause you want to, the mouth of the wicked all up in that mouth. I ain't saying, I just studied it. All has evil on his lips, no matter who is being harmed for it. See, God had to come back, because see, you remember when I said that I have spoken truths when I didn't have to. And God had to come back, because I was good. I was good on what I said. Why? Because it was the truth. And God let me know that you crushed somebody's spirit. So what good is the truth, no matter who the harm? What good is the truth if someone has become harmed by it? Truth should edify. Truth should lift up. Now, truth does hurt. Truth does hurt. But that wasn't a truth hurt statement that I made. It was one that I could have chose better wording for. And the only reason I'm laughing because it's one person. Okay. So, I was on the phone with one of my peoples, one of my friends, and I was smoking some weed. And she said something to me. And when I went to try to talk, I kind of choked. I started coughing. What are you doing? It's one of my Christian friends. What are you doing? Smoking blunt. Why are you doing that? And da-da-da-da-da. Because I'm an adult first and foremost, and when she look, my buttons, God had to teach me how not to allow them to be pushed. But once you get amped like that, that's the epitome of me allowing my buttons to be pushed. If I don't feel like I did nothing, because me smoking my blunt ain't have nothing to do with you. You're on the other end of the phone. And I promise you, any blunt that I pick up, God sees. God sees. I'm live, Philip. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I ain't going nowhere. I can't lie. Um. So once I finished laying into her because she just felt the need to get amped with me because she didn't like what I was doing. Once I finished laying into her, she told me I made her feel like balling up somewhere in the corner and dying, unaliving. And I said, you should go get a backbone. And God didn't like that. God didn't like that. God dealt with me for years for that statement. And we had a mutual friend that every time we talked about it, she just died laughing. So whenever I think about the story, I think about the mutual friend that always dies laughing anytime that she hears that. Um, but yeah, you gotta consider what you're saying, or you're evil, or you're wicked. Excuse me, it's wicked. It's the mouth of the wicked. Wicked, evil, all that good stuff. If you're out here just saying things because they true and you don't care who you're hurting, yeah, God said think on that. Says people often pride themselves on being frank and outspoken. Remember when I told y'all we were going to talk about that? People often pride themselves on being frank and outspoken when oh, okay. When in reality, they are simply exhibiting the callous state of their conscience. Do you know what callous means? It's rough. It's rough. You want to smooth that stuff out. Smooth it out. Find some better words. Source. Just telling y'all what God told me. He said you can't be walking around telling people that they should go get a backbone because they telling you that they feel like balling up in the corner based off of your harsh words. And I don't even remember what I said to her, but I said it based off of her coming for my neck. And guess what? Exodus 14:14. My people posted that on Facebook today. She said I was going to respond, and then God reminded me of Exodus 14:14. Lord, but when God brought that to me, it was right in the midst of I was about to respond. And here go Exodus 14:14. I'm gonna fight that battle for you. You don't gotta be around here fighting all your battles. I got you. You gotta trust. When you somebody like to fight your battle, you gotta trust. You gotta really begin to learn how to trust God to let some battles go, because I'm good with fighting my own battles. I promise you that. One thing for sure and two things for certain. If truly aroused to the value of words, they would weigh them. They would think about it. God shut me up for 2 whole years. Anybody that know me know about my shut up season. Don't say nothing you feel to defend yourself. Nothing. Don't go in the store when they getting amped with you and say nothing. When I tell you I was walking, me and my daughters in stores, somebody done said something. I'm fuming on the inside. Fuming on the inside. And can't say nothing. And I turn around to my daughters and I be like, did I do good? Did I do good? So, oh my God, I just wanted to cuss somebody out. That's all. That's all. Let's see here. Oh, phone. Come back. Oh, Lord, it done got hot. Like, I had my AC off, y'all. I had my AC off. Philip, are you still in here? I guess not. I had my AC off, because I had my windows up. But then when I went and got in the shower, I didn't sit to just allow myself to dry because I didn't want to. I was already coming up here late, and so I immediately went after I did my whole routine. I immediately went and started putting on makeup. I never gave myself like enough time, and makeup already made me hot. I ain't never not. I was hot. Y'all, I am hot. And the AC is on. I said, I put all the windows down, put the AC on, cause I couldn't stop getting hot. But it done went off again. It went off again. Said the wicked is gonna speak though any word they want without fear or wit. They're gonna speak in great abundance. They're gonna speak all the evils and wickedness that they want because they don't care. There is no conviction that lies in a totally wicked person. I say a totally wicked person because you may not be aware that you're doing wicked things because you don't not weighing your words. You might be convicted. But if you're convicted and you have not started to weigh your words, then I'm just giving you a maybe you want to weigh your words. And this is it says that as far as weighing the words, as far as the righteous is concerned, with where weighing your words is concerned, this is in extraordinary cases because generally, the wise man, if God sends you a wise man, you're going to attend to his words. But there are certain cases where God gonna say, think about that, weigh that out when you hear it. All right, now we get ready to talk about the Hilliard family, and then we're gonna get on up out of here right quick, right quick. So I was watching Larry Reed live. I was not watching him live. I forgot what drew me in to that particular post. I don't like when you get balls on your, cause I made my Daisy Dukes too. They were pants, and I googled. I did a YouTube tutorial, but then they have those. Where I put them in the washing machine and got all the fringy things and stuff. I think I did a good job. This is Bishop Hilliard. Bishop I.B. Hilliard. I know his name. I didn't go do any research on this either. Everything that we're talking about tonight is more or less teachable moments. We're going to speak about Bishop Hilliard's daughter, and this is not his biological daughter, but when I say I didn't know that until in the midst, because she just calls him her father. Larry let you know when I went to watch that live, because first I watched the little short that he had, and it went to the live next. It went straight to the live after the short. He lets you know that she speaks well of both of her parents, but she also is going through her childhood trauma hurt. Kermeshia. This is the daughter of Bridget and Ivy Hilliard, stepdaughter of Ivy Hilliard, biological daughter of Bridget. She was disowned. Now she's been married for 28 years. I don't remember how many years that Larry said that it had been. I want to say he said about 18 since she said it, if I'm not mistaken, because he was playing a video of her. I want to say she said it was about 18 years since she had seen her parents. She has children that they don't know. Larry Reed spoke about hers and her husband's character, speaking in high regard of Kermeshia so that you can see that this is not just somebody that is trying to drag her family. There are family issues there, and she was speaking out because there are issues between Dr. Bridget and Bishop Hilliard at this point. Larry Reed are saying that Kermeshia and Dr. Bridget are telling the same story. He is just mentioning unkindness. But just like I stated, unkindness can be a doozy, especially if you have to live with it. A mean person is a real thing. And mean people are not nice to be around for just a little bit. Couldn't imagine having to be with them day in and day out for years. Now, Kamisha was disowned because she walked away from the ministry. And she says that she believed that her mother allowed her father to persuade her into not speaking to their daughter anymore. And now her mother is going through her own things. They're saying that there are mental health issues that she is dealing with. I watched a Facebook post that I thought was newer, but I went back and found that that Facebook post was from 2019. But that Facebook post was speaking on that Facebook post was speaking on. Excuse me. That was both. Dr. Bridget and Bishop I.B. Hilliard, I said they looked as a unit in that one, but I came to find out that that was possibly before things were going on. I don't know. I don't know when all this started with them. Um, but what I did notice in that post was he said that he was always right and that she thought she was right. Didn't he say she thought she was always right? So she came in and reiterated, I'm always right. Now this is what I got out of that. Because men, if God is talking to the haughty, because like I said, sometimes God telling me to come talk to y'all. If God is talking to the haughty and y'all run this shit, Ringo said we evil, but how much more y'all? That's what Ringo TV said. If God talking to the haughty and y'all run this, he talking in one ear and out the other. But Bishop Hilliard said he is always right, and she just thinks she's right. Now, what I got from that is that she can't tell you nothing, because you always right, and even if she is right, she just thinks she's right, so she wrong to you. And if that's how it working with you, now Larry Reed said you can't take away from his teachings or anything like that. Said he is a man of God. Just because you wrong don't mean you're not a man of God. I can get with that. But if God can't tell you nothing, Bishop, you in trouble. If God can't tell you nothing, Bishop Hilliard, you, my sir, are in trouble. Because you said you were always right. And if you're always right, but your wife just thinks that she's right, then your wife could be telling you something from the Most High that you're not going to hear because it's coming from her. I'm just saying. I'm just basing that off of the video I saw where it said that you said you was always right. And she thinks you're right. But Larry got smoked for all parties involved because he says Bishop Hilliard is making him give him the side eye with everything that is going on. But he also said what I said about eternity. Commission has to heal. She has to heal. She may or may not get the relationship with her parents because she said that she reaches out, and they don't reach out. She was in pain on that post. She was almost in tears at some point. She want her parents. And then he turned the smoke to the parents. Unconditional love. Dr. Hilliard, Bishop Hilliard. Unconditional love. You let God handle her. Did she turn away from God or did she turn away from your church? That would be my question. Because appears to me that God got her wrapped in his loving arms. That's just me looking from the outside. So Larry said y'all supposed to love her unconditionally and never. This what Larry Reed said. Y'all ain't supposed to never ignore her when she reaching out to y'all. Get your mind right. Get your mind right, baby. Get your mind right. Come on, little Bishop. Come on. Get your mind right, baby. Get your mind right. Come on, Dr. Bridget. Come on. And I'm praying for y'all. I promise you that. I've been praying ever since I watched Larry Reed live. I was obedient to Larry Reed live. Yeah, I did. I went on Instagram on Dr. Bridget's, and I went on Facebook on Kermisha's, and I let them know I was praying for them, and I let them know that Larry Reed had sent me. Kermisha has a book, and it's called Going to Church to Catch Hell. So if y'all would like to, check that out, yeah. Got all that done. Now these are Kamisha's exact words. When I tell y'all I stopped and paused and rewound and stopped and paused and rewound so that I could make sure I was getting her exact words. You can't take that as being the absolute truth. I'm going to assume she was speaking to someone who had made a comment about, you can't take that as being the absolute truth. There are so many factors involved in this When I was going through, my voice was silenced, and we didn't have social media back then. I kind of had to sit in the space of letting people chatter, and the person that had the most influence framed the narrative around what was happening to me. Who would the person with the most influence be? Bishop I.B. Hilliard. Let's see. I think we done, y'all. Let me see. Yep. All right, y'all. So we is done. We done talked about Pastor Keion. We talked about Pastor Sonya Walker and Tarika James or Eternity Phillips. We talked about the heart of the righteous and the mouth of the wicked, and we spoke about the Hilliards. Lord, I would like to thank you guys. Excuse me, y'all. I would like to thank you guys for sitting with me a spell. Hello, beautiful. Kamisha Hilliard Evans said, the person with the microphone is always the loudest. Had to add my stank on it. I put, but not always the rightest. And she just said, but not always right. Y'all know. You know. That's why they said I be talking jive. The person with the microphone is not always, is always the loudest, but not always the rightest. That means just because you loud and you're doing a lot of chatter don't mean you speaking good words. That goes back to weighing those words. Considering before you speak, beautiful. Ensuring that you are edifying and not tearing down. Beautiful Sylvie loves you, and I am out.